I'm not sure how I actually waited the entire minute this time. Probably just ADHD'd off to something else. This is the
Yeah,
only
me
way
too.
this
I
It
already
starts
did.
again at 1
It
second
starts
left.
running
It's like,
again.
no.
All right, we're live. Welcome all. I know there are several channels, several different ways you can come in. Please put chats in and say hi, and we'll say hi back and make fun of us, all those fun things.
We'll make fun of you back.
It's a true story. Yeah, we absolutely will. Yeah, 100%. What's up, friends? It's been a couple weeks. What have we been working on? Anybody want to start us off? Ash or Jason?
Yeah, I'm trying to push the popcorn thing across the limit. Popcorn sales started. I'm still in my spreadsheet methodology because Claude Code decided that, wanted to take a lunch break the last 3 critical weeks of my project, which is why my headline there is currently hates Claude Code. I'm reading and I hear it's better. So I'm going back to it tonight. It seems to be doing better at the other project I'm working on with it. So I'm going to try to push that across the lines. It's so close. It's like 97% there. It's just there's a couple critical bugs that make me not trust it.
Yes. Yeah, and basic ones too. I will say Claude Code and Ash, I know you're going to get a counterpoint on this, so we'll just get our stuff out of the way so everyone can hear the brilliance of Ash in a minute. But Claude Code for this last 5 weeks, and admittedly the last week or so it's been a lot better, just got really bad, Jason. I don't know what all was playing around, if they're changing the back end, but I got so frustrated one night that I was sitting there typing in angrily for literally the 27th NPM change, micro version change to test this so it would be deployed to production so I could see it. And it popped in and said, hey, it's good again. And I was like, no, this is not good. The data is not accurate. And I said, I'm going to go test manually. And if you test and you say it's fine, and I know it's not fine, I'm going to execute you personally and find a new chat bot. And anyways, it came back and said, literally dropped the F-bomb and said, oh my God, I am wrong again. I've committed 25 times. I've wasted your time. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to give you another chance. It was like, thank you for being so benevolent and giving, right? Anyways.
I just linked in our private chat there. Anthropic has acknowledged that there was an issue, by the way.
Okay. All right. So I'm getting credits then? Am I getting free credits?
Not.
Okay, cool. That was fun though.
I mean, it's really hard for them to give you free credits so you're on the $100 plan. You've probably used $1,000 worth of actual back end time. They're probably not going to give you credit.
No. But I have gotten some meaning. Well, go ahead, Ash. You have some thoughts on this matter, I would wager.
No, I always have thoughts, but I was going to say that the it's interesting just to talk even about the way that it responds, because it basically did what somebody with a lot of charisma does in a way where it matched what you were putting out. And so, where you had that experience, and I think I shared with you guys as well, but I've been just kind of playing with a few different technologies and then using silly examples to put them together. But one of them has been just this floating animated jellyfish SVG, and it gets super silly. I'm like, where did this go? And it'll come back like, oh, rescue. and it's just like, where did you get this sense of humor from? And so it's like, I feel like there's a lot to talk about there about how it pattern matches against your vocabulary towards it.
Can we turn the little jellyfish thing into a togichi or whatever those things are called?
I want to make it totally
alive.
Yeah.
Oh, a
And then
Tamagotchi
so it'd be
pet.
cool. It'd be cool
Gotcha,
for you to
whatever.
be able to like change and then save the thing, and it can be yours, and yeah, you can name it.
Yeah,
I
I
did
mean,
something actually useful with Claude this last week. I'll share. If you've ever deployed like a CTFD deployment, and you want to use certain custom domain names, and you want to use Let's Encrypt, you have to do a little work to get that set up, right? That's the whole reason they sell a hosted instance of that for people that have a lower barrier to entry. I wrote, and I'll just switch over to this real quick. I wrote a CTFD Azure deployment script. And if you read the information, basically just set up a machine, SSH into it, and it's a one-line command: git clone this Azure deploy, and then it creates the script. You put in information like your domain name and your email address that you want for your Let's Encrypting stuff. You chmod it, and then you just execute it. Just one-line installer. Went through a whole bunch of stuff, had some real failures. This was about during the time when Claude was starting to get better. But now you can deploy pretty easily. It made a cool custom theme as well for that. So I actually have a custom theme that is deployed as well as part of this new build. How many commits am I in on this? Like a non-zero number? Let's see. 37 commits. So about 37 total commits to make the changes that I've made to this. Some of them through degrees of frustration. Like, holy Jesus, why do you keep doing the same thing over and over again? Like,
So they're emotional commit metrics.
yeah, for sure. And it's so funny. I ought to go back and read through some of these, but like, it like fixes one thing and then breaks it yet again the same exact way. Jason, this was kind of back to your point of like, it got really bad. Like, it would just add the themes directory that would cause a 500 error. Then it would go, oh, you're right, I can't pass themes this way. But then you go fast forward, again, to your point, it's outside the context window. You get outside the context window, and now it's like, oh, I'm going to do this. And you're like, you just did that, you stupid bastard. You just learned this lesson.
So now you add it to Claude Code, and you tell in Claude.md, you tell it to not to do that anymore. And then after a while, it ignores that too.
It does. Go, Ash. I'm sorry, because this is triggering me hard.
No, the thing I want to say was exactly about what you said, where it's like it's outside of its context window. So what was it that was outside of its context window? Was it your business logic, or was it like the functionality and the framework of like how this technology is supposed to work? Because that shouldn't be out of its context window.
Great question. Yeah. So when you attach through Docker Compose a themes directory, it overwrites the themes directory in the core functionality of CTFD, which causes it to crash.
Sense. Well, it shouldn't. If it made an entire copy of the themes directory, it would not.
That's fair, but it did not. To your point, so there's Ash. There's a smidge of business logic of Matt Lee involved here too. But
it tried.
The point is like it just kept doing the same thing again, even though the documentation says you must have things in this themes directory.
But is it always reading the documentation every time?
No, it's not. It's not.
Because this is where it's an interesting point, because it's like, I find it's really frustrating. I hate having to do this every time, where it's like, I say something to you once, I should expect you to be able to remember that. Like, but it's not that is out of your context. It's context. Yeah. It's that the fact that it needs to even look for that thing in the first place is out of its context.
Yeah,
right?
That's fair. And, but I remind it, like I put it in its Claude MD and it will literally ignore it. And I'll go, hey, you're not testing in production. Great example. I have a Pick'em app that I made, NFL Pick'em app. And I told it, we're always testing in production. This is live. Don't make a local host. Don't spin up localhost 3000, host this bastard. Don't spin your own infrastructure. And it'll do what I ask it in Claude MD for a while. And then it'll just decide it's going to spin it up.
The longer the context window gets, the less likely it is to obey shit that's in the Claude
in
MD.
its own instruction of system prompt.
Do you ever have like noises going on around you and like something's said and you're like, I didn't even hear that? I feel like that's the way it is, 100%. Where like no matter how many times I put at the very top line, like in between imports, so I know it's going to read it, don't import things here. This is not where this belongs. Right. It'll still try and like hand roll CSS in places. It'll still try, and it's like
I love that you just brought up hand roll. like we use rolling machines up in this CSS, bitches. Like no hand rolls here.
It's the terminal. I guarantee if you ask, so this is a context trick, right? Like if you say to your code, like if you just ask it question like, did you hand roll any of that?
Yeah.
The words hand roll, it literally knows like what to unpack when it thinks about that. All of a sudden now it has in its context, here's what it means best practice in this. Here's what it means best practice in that. And it forces it to put it in its context. And then it does more with what you say.
Conversely, I'm using CC Sessions right now, and CC Sessions actually has a post tool hook that reminds it at the end of every tool usage to do very particular things.
It's just automating it on those things.
And it will still ignore them.
How many of them are there though?
It's just one. It's like when you're done,
it'll ignore one.
When you're no, like it literally every time it uses a tool to do anything, anytime it edits a file, anytime it does a shell command, it gets this reminder that says like when you're done, you need to run the DAIC command, which will put you in discussion mode. And when you're in discussion mode, you can't use any tools that make edits, right? It will, two things it'll do. One, it'll forget to go back to discussion mode. It'll stay in implementation mode, even though it's done and it should be. Or two, it will go into the discussion mode, and its prompt when it's in discussion mode for every single context window gets injected that it's in its discussion mode and it can't use edits on files and stuff. It will find new ways to edit files.
Yes,
stuff it has access to.
I've seen this too. It's like, hey, I'm going to drop to a /space.
Yes.
Like, it's like, what are you doing, you son of a bitch? Like,
it's like, oh, I figured out this other MCP can actually edit files using functionality I didn't even know it could do. So we're just going to use that instead.
There was that article, I think I shared it with you guys, but he said,
I'm going to read it.
Oh, yeah. Read it.
So I was going to the same place your brain was going, Ash. This old man says, like, there was talking about, like, vibe coding has turned senior devs into AI babysitters, but they say it's good. Says he likes that he's able to work alone on projects, saving time and money, but agrees that vibe coding is not, it's not like hiring an intern or a junior coder. Instead, it's akin to hiring your stubborn, insolent teenager to help you do something, he told TechCrunch. You have to ask them 15 times to do something, and in the end, they do some of what you asked, some stuff you didn't ask for, and they break a bunch of things along the way.
And the kindergartners at the same time, because you have to tell them exactly, oh, is this how I put peanut butter on bread?
Yeah. Oh, and they're not wrong. I've made things that I could never make in the timeline I would have done it. But it feels like I'm hurting drunk monkeys that have found the cocaine stash from Charlie Sheen's house, right? Like it's like it's just wild.
And the problem is, it's great at making MVPs, right? Like, so I've got like four projects, that are like 80% done, and like now I'm finishing them by hand in many cases. Like I'm fixing bugs myself in the popcorn thing because I can fix it myself faster than I can get Claude
without the damage that would be done if you asked it to do a few more things, right? Like I just dealt with this in my Pick'em app. It's like fixed my database for all the actual entries and the times and who was first and all that stuff. But on the UI, it constantly says there are 16 games played. But there's not. And you can ask it to try to triage it, and it'll be like, oh, you're right. This is absolutely broken. I'll fix it. Oh, fix push to production. Oh, this looks great. No, you're curling the header. Like your test is bad. There's just so much guidance that has to be done to keep it functional and responsive, at least in past the
still enjoy it. I'm still having fun with it. Like it just burnt me out a little bit trying to, like, I have a deadline on this popcorn thing, which I mean obviously I'm now over past that a little bit, but
you still think you're at a stage where you can retrofit the data in and function from there, or is it next year?
No, 100% I can.
When's that drop dead date?
I mean, at some point or another, it'll become more work to do it than just stay on my spreadsheets. But I will probably do it anyways, right? So like now, everything I've done to this time, like I have real orders in it, so I'm gonna run in parallel for a bit is basically what's gonna happen, and it's real close. Like it's. Do
you plan on releasing it to the other troop leaders and things, and actually having it be a production functional system?
I do. So that's the point where I'm at now. If I can get through this last like 2 or 3 breaking bugs, then I'm gonna cut a production release. And then it's going to be running.
How do you secure it? Are you still doing JWT emailed or something to that nature? How do you plan on securing it?
This one, it uses Django. So it's using Django on the back end. It's using Django's user auth system.
Okay.
But it is using Django TOTP. So it does do MFA.
Ash got me turned on to Cloudflare workers and pages, which is super dope. First off, just the cost is near zero. I mean, you can host them under your current domains for, under 100,000 calls. But the other thing you can do is I've been using Cloudflare Zero Trust tunnels. If you go to n8n.frameworkmaps.org, I don't mind giving that out live because you can't get there. If your email domain isn't in the email domain I've allowed, you can't get there. So yours is, Jason, under CyberEyes, right? And so is Pax8.
Yep.
But it gives us access to have those things be behind a Cloudflare front end. So now I'm not even exposing IP addresses. I'm doing everything through Cloudflare tunnels that's being managed through a backend Cloudflare tunnel. So adding in that on top, I've started doing that kind of stuff to help protect my crappy applications that I know I'm building that I'm exposing to the world that might have things in them I care about. So that's why I added the new N8N server behind that.
Yeah, I mean those things. So I'm playing with a little bit of that too. This one, I made a decision at the very beginning. I actually had like a 40-minute. Speaking of conversations with AI, I had like a 40-minute back and forth with Opus, right? Like because I needed the brains, and we created a whole spec, and probably 20 minutes of that was back and forth as to whether I should do Fast API or Django. And in this use case, Django makes a lot of sense because, like, even if something gets fucked up, sorry, never mind. This is your
no, we're good. We're on this channel. It's cool.
Yeah, we're on this channel. I can swear.
Like, it's not like your kids at all.
We're good. Even if it fucks up, like the front end, the back end database is still accessible via the Django admin CRUD, right? So, like,
Steven asked, can you have them track in Excel and import? Are you at that stage where you think
it's already?
It
is. So,
nice.
Yeah, right. So right now it's actually not Excel. I'm using Google Sheets, and the Google Sheet actually, like, it's got a bunch of JavaScript macros I wrote on the back end that actually make it all work.
Nice.
So yeah, it's not like just me tracking on a spreadsheet. It's got like automation, and like you enter very specific stuff on very specific spreadsheets, and then like the JavaScript sets up a bunch of formulas that everything just happens by magic. Then no, bad Kelvin, no cookie for you. Friends don't let friends use MongoDB.
Yeah. Steven said, wait, so I have access? I have access. Yeah, so Steven, I'll just touch on this really quickly. One of the things I've been using Claude Floor. One of the things I've been using Claude for is I built an MCP. I've rethought that MCP. I was wrong in the way I tried to approach it, Ash, like the mcp.frameworkmaps.org. I was trying to build static logic so that an LLM, which is great at actually taking contextual things and making reasoning, would use this to make, hey, this vendor said, here's my product, here's what it does. Does that meet the safeguard 10.1? The problem is the static logic was often getting argued with by the LLM, and the static logic wasn't good enough for its deterministic purpose. So what I've shifted it to, and I'm curious how your app adjusted to this, Ash, but I shifted it to only having two functions actually. Tell me about all the controls you know about, and tell me about this specific control. Jason, what I'm planning on doing is taking that specific control information that's coming back, feeding it to an LLM, but using N8N to feed it with an appropriate system prompt for that specific safeguard with all the information garnered.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, that's a great use case of something like N8N.
Yeah. Pull this, make a system prompt, give it this answer with this system prompt, go put that in dynamically.
Yeah, correct.
That's kind of what I'm going to be using.
That's a great use case, right? Because then you don't have context, like you don't have cross.
No, it's this sort of a context. It's only this, what I fed it right now.
And so the trick is writing all those system prompts for every single one of the
153 safeguards. Yeah. So I'm going to start by trying to do an 18 control system agent where it's got the control information. And then what I'm doing is the MCP, when I call back, let's say this vendor says they did 18.4. I can call back words that are part of the taxonomy, words that are keywords, and statements like, do not ever let someone claim this if they are a this. Only let someone claim them if they are a this. Those become part of that weighted system prompt coming into the LLM that then takes that and uses it kind of. I took some of the thoughts from Ash's modality of having an always ready injectable kind of system prompt creator.
And you can use a multi-tiered system where it's like basically the vendor gives a high level description or scrapes their website and says, which controls might this meet? And then basically then use that to call back again with information on those like controls or those like groupings. The hell are they? What are they called there?
IGs.
The individuals are
groups,
controls, but then there's it's
safeguards.
not IGs. Okay, it's controls and safeguards.
Yeah, safeguards being the sub piece. But Ash, you kind of triggered me on this, like, or I was telling you about this in our show. Like, the MCP was really good at me asking questions like, what safeguards probably failed if someone had this? It was really good at taking that context and then doing that.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of took that on steroids in the new iteration of what I'm doing right now.
I have to look and see what it's done. I'm excited. Can I?
Always.
I didn't ask, but I was like, can I show you something that isn't exclusively AI,
Naden.
but it was using AI, but it was also using other tools to like integrate a complete process super easily?
Yeah, please.
And then I have 2 ways that I've done it. But talking about N8N, because like that's actually one that
I guess we have to call it Nathan now to make Kelvin happy, even though there's no phonetic resemblance in his statement, so it doesn't help us in any way. But thanks, Kelvin.
A window. Share this window. All right. So.
Oh, that's telling me that you have a window. I need to find it.
Yeah, there it is. Can
I
you
don't
see
want Matt's
my window?
I want somebody else's window. This is terrible. You suck, Matt.
I have to control plus window sign plus. Aha.
Enhance.
So
Enhance.
I use
my hands on the keyboard too.
I use a Claude key pin. I'm not sure. I think Jason, you've got one.
Yeah, I have a note
but I'm not sure if anybody else has heard of these, but they're like AI note takers that you just kind of keep on you and you can use. What's funny is that I don't even use the pin as much as I use the app and its connection, because it has in it, I'm not going to go into all my details, but it has all of these templates, and you can set custom words, and you can set like things, and it recognizes who I am and everything, but it has no integrations except for Zapier. It says more coming
which
soon.
Which is great. No, but Zapier gives you a lot of options from there,
well,
right? Like,
yeah, but then you have to buy Zapier.
Part of me is like, well, I mean, it is free, and that's why I'm okay talking about like that connection piece of it, because it's like, it's not like I have to pay extra for that. But for the one Zap, as soon as I want to do more, then it's going to be crazy. But what annoys me about that is that if they can do it, then that means that there's an API and I can authenticate. And I'm like, I bet I can use AI to help me figure out how to backwards.
Nice.
Now, I didn't do that here. What I did was
because that would violate the user's agreement, and we would never violate the end user agreement by doing something.
But what I did do is like, here's what I set up was I set up the integration, and I was just like, literally, it was it's 2 steps, and I said I want, when my Claude transcript is done, and I've gone in and generated a summary, so it waits for me to pick the type of summary I want to generate, then trigger the creation of a Google Doc. And so this was like just 2 steps in a workflow that I created using my AI bot, that then now I've got, and this is just an example I created, but this is one of my templates, and it automatically created it in my Google Doc. And so it gives me the summary up top, and then I told it what to give me. I could also add more, and then it also gave me the speaker information below. And I was like, this is how, because then what I can do with this now is bring it into my Notebook LM. And so all I'm waiting for on the Notebook LM side is for an API, and then I can make like a properly agentic like AI, like, oh, I'm going to call this, I'm going to call that.
But you could do that with N8N, right? Because like I would think you should be able to pull that in with some. Oh yeah, of course, duh.
You could do it. You could do it with N8N. Well, like I did it here with Roost too, because I was like, well, if I could do this here, why can't I do that there? And so like this is just pulling Discord names, and then I made a workflow that then literally 2 tasks: create a doc, update a doc. I love the same name, but like it's
there's a new note, and I'm sad that I have the Note Pen because I kind of want the Note Pro.
Oh, there's a new one.
Of dumb purchases, I just spent an extra $3,000 to buy a new MacBook, Jason, just to get 48 gigs of VRAM. So I was like, all right.
I would have done 64 if I was doing that.
I didn't go with the Max. I went with the Pro. Like I made lots of maybe choices for it to be in my hands right now, and not something I had to wait 3 or 4 days on. So like, yeah. Let's just say. But it's
I'll probably get a new one sometime soon.
Well, I will tell you, the M4 Pro over the M4 is a big difference for me. I was quite enamored with the difference.
Yeah, it would be.
My VMs, all of those things.
So then, there I just added it to my my Notebook LM, and then this allows me to generate
Help
a
people
mind map.
understand what Notebook LM is, because this is
Especially
kind of a foreign
me.
concept for a lot of people, and
Really?
maybe even me.
No, I understand it. I mean, I
tease.
kind of get what it's supposed to do, but it's like everything that I want from it, it's like basically just a rag at that point, right? It's like
It is, but it's meant for like educational assistance recalling. So like I will put I have one in there when, if you saw it on my original screen, like it says September 8th to 12th. Every one of my calls, like I just put all the transcripts, boom, in there. And then I'm like, what are my task lists today? Or what is the theme of my week today? Because then I can like, the mind maps that it makes are so freaking cool that they just
This
literally
is natively out of just feeding it non-contextualized information.
And so it categorizes, and then this is how it grounds itself, right? So it'll ground itself, and then it's like, why wait for that? So it's just like, and then I can click on one of these things, and it will actually ask it a question about it, and it'll remind me of everything about that was talked about on that thing. And literally, I feel like the power of the world will be in my hands once Notebook LM has APIs. Because you can even ask Kelvin or anybody from CyberDrain. We went through all of our talks on our onsite. I loaded them in. I generated video overviews. We watched them. Some of them were like, you would have put this together as an actual presentation. It's crazy.
But the video overviews is a native capability of Notebook LM as an output.
Yeah.
And
then
what do those video overviews look like? Are they actually videos to watch?
Yeah, they're nice.
I made one for you of our talks. Like there's a what's it called? Our hackening. We have
a hackathon stream of this. Yeah.
I put all of them in there until the one stream didn't have a transcript from, because you can use YouTube videos directly.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was saying this to Tom Lawrence too. I'm like, if you don't go and put all of your various topics into there and say, what do I talk about? What should I talk about more? Then you haven't like optimized your time yet.
Yeah. And he does, I'm pretty sure.
He hadn't at the time. I hope he does now. Tom, I called you out.
Ooh.
Do it. Use it.
Well, he uses AI to do all
good
of his,
AI.
he uses AI to do all of his chapter titles.
But I'm gonna make one for. I was like, I'll make one for you too, Matt. I'll just be like, here's all of my favorite videos of Matt. Tell me about Matt.
It won't be all that nice. I did that once with a rate my LinkedIn profile type thing that was looking at me. It was like, Matt is extremely quick and to the point, often rude and interrupting, often not. I'm like, geez, man, could you give a brother a break? Like, you're not wrong, but damn.
I'm going to send a link into here for you because I did this a little bit for Kelvin. I made it in this, like, I was like, I'm going to publish that. And it's like, here's the fan club link. You can look at that. It's really funny.
Oh, this
like
is
the
Kelvin,
AI just pulled
Kelvin's...
it from a few of his different conversations. And it was like,
he's the owner of an MSP, 15 employees, around 18 or 80 FTE equivalent through mergers and acquisitions. He's seen 20% year-on-year growth. Good for you, Kelvin. Look at this. Created CIPP out of necessity. True story. Was there when he talked about it.
Oh, you would have had to go to. I'm down a rabbit hole. I'm down a MacBook rabbit hole. You would have had to go to Max to get more than the 32 or 48 gigs of RAM.
Yes, I know. I went to the Pro. I didn't find the jump in the processor to Max enough, but the RAM was the driving factor, so I went to the limit of the 48 gigs.
You get 8 more cores of GPU
for the Max.
Yeah, which would help with AI.
Yep, but for this purpose, now I have something I can knock someone out with. It weighs like at least 40.
Are you a 14 or 16 inch?
16.
Yeah, okay.
Massive,
so you're
man.
the same as me
Ridiculous.
then. That's a 16 inch I'm running.
But it has been really nice, and it's just, I don't know, going deep into the Mac infrastructure now. I've bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Macs.
I'm sorry.
In the last 7-10 weeks.
I feel at least partially responsible.
Oh, you're 100%
in the last 10
responsible. Yeah, like it's a real problem, Ash. Like my CPA is calling. Like there's no way you need this many devices, bro.
I'm sorry, I can't move by you. I bought too many Macs.
I'd love to move, but I'm outside of my Mac budget for the year. Anyways, but I've replaced all my Windows machines and I try to sell them and they're just sitting here. So I'm like, what do I want to do with all these machines? Anyways, I digress.
So let's talk about the Claude more.
What's that?
Have you made any custom templates for your plot yet?
Yes. And I only use my templates.
Okay, so because I'm at that point now, right? Because a lot of times I just want to talk to it, and then I just want it to summarize the things I said. Like I don't like basically, I want to rant at it and get out like coherency out of the rant, essentially, and that's all I want. most
Exactly.
of the
I'll show
time.
you one of my.
Yeah.
I have one that I call like a precision capture, and I was like, you need to capture everything, even the things that were left unsaid. And I was like,
Oh my.
I was like, first go through this level of granularity, then this, and it does
Identify
a really
the
good
quiet
job.
parts.
Yeah.
And say them out loud.
I wonder, where do I find?
Are you essentially with Claude setting a system prompt for this voice
Yes.
to,
For
you know,
so
human
it does
voice
a transcription.
recognition?
So it works. It's just OCR.
Yeah, sure.
or
Basic
voice to
OCR,
text.
basic voice recognition.
Voice
yeah.
to text, and then
Natural
it takes
language
the transcript
processing.
and it runs the transcript through an AI on the back end to do what you want with it, right? It'll generate
cool.
a mind map or do a bunch of other things. But like I've been using the ADHD executive one.
Okay.
Yes, I used that one originally.
It's good in some cases, but like
it listening, or do you have to call it out to make it listen?
No, I mean, when it's recording, it's
recording.
Yeah, go. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm the tool in charge of that. That's
when
right.
It's recording, it's recording. I'll put it on like my seatbelt when I'm driving home sometimes and just talk to it.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then so like these are just like this is what the way they look. Like my template, like this is one that I created, and so you give it the context, and then I just have it. You give it the style, the tone, who the audience is, and then it can input. Does a really good job with inputting like variable plugins too. Like if I pull up. I wonder if I can. Is there a search? No, there's not.
What do you mean
search.
by
I was going to look for the
plugins?
ADHD. Like it'll let you say like, oh, plug in people's names, and then it'll have like if you use the codes properly, then it'll put those people's names in.
Yeah. I've also noticed that it does a good job if you're having a conversation with somebody and it can figure out via context the speaker names. It will put them in to the summaries. Like it will.
This was the device, Jason, that you suggested for the elderly lady that had gone to her doctor. The mom was about to rush home, and it turned out there wasn't a surgery. She just misunderstood. And we were like, next time, just send her with Claude. This is what you're talking about?
Yes, 100%.
I use this one. They have a lot of good ones for the medical terminal as well. So like there's a psychoanalyst one, which is like, it's fun to use that on like cross-functional calls. The stakeholder meeting one is good because like they just put the different perspective on. And then there was one where what I really loved about it, which is good for like what Jason was talking about, where it's like it strips out all of the effectively the business logic and all the details, and it just says talk about this as a narrative, like narrate kind of like what's happening, and it's really great for I don't know where it is now, but
and it looks like you can pull in audio.
Yeah,
it looks like you can pull in audio that didn't get captured by the device.
Yes.
Is that what it's?
Yep.
So
yeah. And that's what you're doing.
Is this one that'll also go on the back of your phone and integrate with the phone, capture phone calls, things of that nature as well, if you wanted it to?
I don't know if
you have the pin.
That one doesn't go
will
on
not. Yeah, correct. We both have the pin. The Pro is the one that does that.
But yeah, I don't even use the pin as much as I use the actual app itself. You paid for it, but it gives you, I have the unlimited plan, and it's like $300 for the year. And it gives you all of the minutes. And so I can upload my own, like, so I can upload things that were recorded from anywhere. I can give it YouTube videos, I can do whatever. And then I can turn that into something shareable that I give out, and I can choose whether it includes the summary, the mind map, the transcript, the recording, and so it just boom, you get it.
It's like the Rabbit, but successful.
Now after this intermission of like selling the plot.
Yeah.
No, I love it though. It's great.
Well, we're getting on that time. Anybody else have anything they want to talk about that they've been involved in? I mean, Jason, you've been working on Corn Hub.
Yeah, I've got the corn one that's going that I'm hoping to have wrapped up this week. And the last thing I write, I mean, it's already got an importer, so like basically I'm just going to export my data from the thing and import it.
Sure.
And then I'm working on the agreement sync one, which is the one that basically, like, I'm writing something that can take all of my vendors, consume via API, CSV, whatever the case is, their billing usage, and then update my agreements and manage.
Sure.
So those are the two big ones I'm working on right now.
Have you hit limits at all? And have you seen, there was a project I saw that if you were working in Python or if you were working in a few other languages, have you seen the multi-agent farm that somebody wrote? Basically, it
Yeah.
uses
Yep.
it'll
I
run
was using that
100
for a while.
threads. What's
Yeah,
that?
I was using something similar to that for a while.
The challenge is
You hit your limit really quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you hit the limit. You're hitting, as many as 30, 40 multi-threaded. It had locking
Yeah.
capabilities, so if it could lock a portion of the files that it was working on, so the other agents couldn't work on them. It was pretty neat. But
So
yeah, go ahead.
how are you doing the because this is something that like I have a repo where I've been playing with too, but like I find that like everybody talks about the billing reconciliation and like that piece, and that's almost one of those ones where it almost needs like an ETL, like, or like an event bus of some sort where it's like, here's the normalization layer.
Yep, I'm doing
And
that.
then like, and then it's like, but that almost needs like one type of expertise, that normalization layer.
Yep.
And then like all of the other pieces and all the different vendors, they need to have like there's like all of the different functions. Like, is that how you're doing? Because that's how I started it, and I have like 3 or 4 in there.
So
but
the
I
back
never.
end
here is
no, that's something different. We can unscreen that for the moment.
Okay.
The back end is basically it supports manage is all right now, and it supports a couple of various billing reconciliation models. So it supports like the ability to add mid-month by like doing the thing where you add like just one for the rest of the month, and then you like make it following month with the new count so it prorates properly. It supports that. It supports just adding it in. It supports cost, right? Like, but then that's the target. Well, then the source, there's a source ABI or API, and there's some centralized functions like a CSV parser that supports arbitrary schemas and shit like that. That in each source vendor is a module that gets written, right? And its job is to take its representation of data and spit it back in the way that the backend API expects it, right? So each module is responsible for transforming its own data into the system format, right? So that way the core business logic stays really clean, and that's how I've implemented it. But it is essentially two different systems there, right? There's like the side that talks to manage, right, and then the
normalize,
and then the modular
each
side
function
almost like a
normalizes to a common system
Correct.
function normalization.
And basically, each vendor module is responsible for that normalization.
The reason why I was asking was because like if you like modularize it enough at the entry, you could even plug in other people's stuff. And I'm not sure if you see, I posted it in our private chat.
I saw it.
Gradient has a synthesized SDK that actually he's at Thread now, but Brian Chapman, he built out a whole bunch of these like here's what you need, here's all of the endpoints and all of the stuff you need in PowerShell form to use this to call into the API. And so like that type of thing could easily be like, oh, like plug in this and then normalize it and then use it, right? And then you don't have to I think Avic's in there.
Yeah,
like,
my PowerShell or Python. This is all PowerShell, but yeah,
but you can convert PowerShell to Python. Like it's just like
it's not doable. Kelvin said it's not possible.
The business logic is there.
Yeah, the business logic isn't that complex, I find, in most cases, though.
But it's good to have like something where it's like you don't have to recreate the wheel if you've not done that one or something.
Yeah, that's true. I wish vendors just had better APIs generally.
Yeah.
Like I started going down this road and like realizing how many of these vendors just don't even have an API I can talk to. It makes me sad.
Ash, by the way, Steven thinks you need to add generated music to keep the jellyfish company.
I want to make it so that when you click on him, he can kind of like make his own little theme music or something. That would be cool.
Fair. No,
really, I started that just because I was trying to learn more about how pure CSS power works. Like if I were to only use CSS, where are my skies? It's like it's got calc, it's got sign, it's got like I just could never do it before, but AI can.
Do you have to are you using no JavaScript? It's all CSS?
Well, the only JavaScript is I was at first playing with like semantic naming to include utility tokens, so like keyframes and stuff like that. But that's the only thing that's really JavaScripty about it, I think, is like the way that the HSL
whole
things are
menu
being
thing.
verified.
Where it was called, what was it called? I can't remember the site. I was on it earlier.
So I carved out Tailwinds completely. Like I was like, I'm not going to use like your stuff at all. Yeah, Squishy was like, and so I carved out that, and then I was like, I'm going to try doing Material Design 3 for everything because it got updated on my phone, and I really like the way my phone looks. And I was like, this is really pretty. And what I like about it is that it's naturally, innately accessible, and so by playing with it, it automatically kind of focuses on those things. But I'm nowhere near ready yet. So like I was like, how do I make a small, without letting it get too crazy, use case so I can play without it growing, like we were talking about, Matt. But it's like, I don't know, a jellyfish.
But it is there is quite a bit of JavaScript there.
Well, yeah, that's where I was like, it undid some things and then it added a bunch of utility classes, and so then it reverted.
It's all obfuscated, and now I'm sad.
Yeah, because it's rendering dynamically.
What's the site again?
It's squishy.dash.blog.
Yeah, it's changed a lot since it was public there. And that's kind of one of those funny things where it's like,
I can't spell squishy.
All of the
if anybody knows why it's called Squishy, they can get a prize.
All of the animations and stuff like that are
it's all broken.
That's all JavaScript, right?
That's you make me put me on the spot.
JavaScript.
So like my goal,
it's JavaScript dynamically modifying the CSS attributes.
That's what like MUI class variant stuff is already doing, right? It's using the JavaScript to compile, like do whatever to it or something. But I'm not like coding any JavaScript. It's just like using MD3, using MUI, using whatever.
Okay. You're using a library because like the little jellyfish moving around, that's almost certainly a JavaScript functionality.
No, that's all CSS, and I can show you.
Oh, it's just CSS animate transforms.
Yeah, it's transformed. Okay. Yeah, it's all CSS.
But like the scale and stuff are like, if you change the positioning in the scale, then that is using JavaScript to change the backend DOM.
Maybe that is. I didn't implement. That's one of those snuck it in there things.
Yeah.
But I'd have to look. I don't know. But I have been focused like only on the jellyfish and nothing else. And so it's very, very. You can increase its opacity.
Yeah.
But
and that's again probably going to be. It's probably going to be JavaScript that does it. I imagine, right? The opacity. I think.
You want to see something really funny, you can look at the preview one, but just don't show the URL. Because I was trying to go through it and it broke itself. And then I decided to say, okay, start with one and then like make an MUI native one.
Its legs are broken.
Yeah, and then if you go to the MUI native one, it's just totally messed up, and that's like, this was what I've been going through, right? It's like this is its experience. It's like it doesn't actually know how to visualize. I have to tell it and tell it.
Yeah, it can't visualize. It just can't do it. You could. So actually, here's a tip for you. Use the Playwright MCP server.
Oh, Playwright is so good.
And then it will visualize. It will go screenshot it and go, why are the legs not attached to this thing? And it'll go fix them.
Yep.
Yeah, I can do that actually with Rue too. Rue will use the browser.
Rue will do it. Yep.
Yeah.
Or Codex does it. If you use Coder, the fork of Codex, it does it natively too. Cool.
The animation's not the greatest, and everything else is a little bit broken. But
his framing box is broken too when he scales.
That's where the SVG viewbox port thing is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's moving around nice now. He's happy. I think this is the perfect way to end our show potentially.
I'll talk a little bit. I mentioned sessions. So
yeah.
I've been using two things. I'll share them both one after the other. Well, I haven't started using the other one yet, but I'm going to. So this describes a problem that like we literally spent the beginning of this talking about. And so this is a very opinionated set of requirements here, and it uses the hook system, right? So it installs actual hooks
Right.
that
In the
say,
system input, system output.
yeah.
I'm
So when
assuming.
you're doing like post agent use, like literally it does that. So like when you're done implementing, run DAIC. So literally every tool use, it gets told that, and it still ignores it about 10% of the time.
I wonder whether Pommel's going to be a solution.
What's Pommel?
The prompt orchestration
Yeah.
markup
Oh, we talked about Pommel.
language.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like the way that it like structures it kind of like XML, and then it says like it, because it's really good at reading that, and then it can like
Yep.
remind it to pull in things at the right time and be actually almost agentic in its prompting.
But I mean, it does. This is better. This is for sure better. So I would recommend, if you haven't.
Is it an MCP?
No,
or does
it's
it
not.
actually inject in between at
it
the?
injects into your program, into the .Claude directory. It puts some commands, right?
Okay.
So and it puts some hooks in some scripts, and so basically, it uses those things to essentially create a system that's a little smarter than what you get otherwise.
Did you have to out of the box it, Jason, or did you have to do a lot of work to set it up?
No, it was easy. It takes like 2 seconds. It's pretty easy, but it does constrain how you work with it, right? So like you're stuck in that mode then essentially. But it works well, and so it comes with some like cool so like before it'll start working on something, right? It will call an agent whose sole job is to go out and collect context, and then just basically review the code, and then come back to the main agent with like a summary of like, hey, these are the files and lines and shit you need to work on. That way that giant blob of context happens in a sub agent context window. So it's using tricks like that make it a lot better. I go through I can implement most things now without ever going through a compaction cycle. Right, which is pretty big.
By the way, I just wanted to add, Stephen guessed correctly on Squishy's origin, so huzzah!
Yes,
winning. I may take this on. I think, Jason, I've gotten. You know how you used to say, think sequentially and deeply, think deeply and sequentially. I've now just made my statement. Think deeply and sequentially. Use all your agents. Ensure that agents are being used in all cases. And as long as I keep saying that, I get similar. But I have to say it on every time I hit enter. I have to say it every time.
So you're not using any commands yet, right? So like basically I would just do a command that you can run like /matland, and then you just type out what you're doing and have it. What you type after there is a variable in that command, right? So you can have that whole preamble of shit you wanted to give it.
Then I don't have to type
and then
10
say
times
the
again
thing
now.
The user is working on is below.
Shane sequentially to Socratically and tell me what the difference is. Okay. But I'm using a tool called sequential thinking. And so I'm asking it to call sequential thinking.
That's so then you can tell it to call it, but then add that just add that word. Just the word.
Think Socratically. Which think Socratically.
It's just gonna force it to ask it.
Play with that. I've got to fix I did this thing. I'm actually going to use 2 things I've taken from you today, Ash. Number 1 is hand rolled or rolled your own. Because I know that in my Pick'em app, it hand rolled its own CSS instead of just using a pre-existing CSS like Tailwind.
And it's such a good way to say like
even if it uses Tailwinds, it will still hand roll. Like I fought UI issues in the popcorn thing for like literally weeks.
It's rough.
And I had Codex. I had ChatGPT look at it, and it found the problem and fixed it in 5 minutes.
If I were to pick 3 words that are like the ones I use the most, that bring me the most value no matter what, it's saying semantic when I'm asking it, especially if it's naming itself something like simple or clean or unified. I'll say, is that semantic? It'll automatically go, semantic means it accurately describes the problem. No, this isn't, and it's very terminology language, right? So and then in my initial prompts, I'll say, think Socratically to encourage it to ask itself questions, and then I'll ask it in debugging if it hand rolled, and then if I'm trying to precise, I'll say, was that semantic, or are you using semantic tokens? Because then it'll know, I shouldn't be putting them here. I should be looking for where the utility class is or whatever.
Here's the other one that I'm going to start playing with. So next time I can tell you how it goes. Spec Kit. Are you playing with this, Ash? You were talking about it.
Yeah, I was. I really am playing with the whole concept of this might be
the spec-driven development structure.
Yeah.
Yep. So I might.
This looks good.
I might start tinkering with it. Like, yeah.
The times that my instructions have very clear steps of what it's going to do with like this file, this line, this thing, are always when it is the most successful. Not always successful, but when it's the most
project
successful.
plans, but it doesn't mean it's successful because of a project plan. Like
but like if it needs a human to clarify, or if there's further things that need to be given to it, then it hasn't properly put a project plan together.
I tell it to ask me now. I tell it, ask me at least 3 questions, but up to 20 if you need clarification. If you don't tell it specifically to ask you, it won't. It talks to itself and infers what it thinks you would tell it.
Especially in agent mode. Yeah. In agent mode, the agent lives a lot more alone than when you're dealing with the primary agent.
It's a code monkey. Yeah, it'll do exactly what you say and only that. But yeah, so like that's the other thing is like if you say ask why 5 times, it's going to do all of those at the same time because it doesn't think.
Oh, you can tell it to ask it sequentially.
You can.
I say present the questions one at a time and think deeply between them to clarify further questions, and it does.
Is it actually reading files between the questions though?
Yeah, because I have it doing that. Yep. In a lot
of cases. Sometimes it'll be like it'll do all its thinking up front, and then it'll like map out for you. Here are my questions, and then it's like you didn't actually potentially steer yourself there. You just thought it all up.
Using sequential thinking and asking for it to come back in between it is pretty decent at it. It'll come up with its initial 5 thoughts, but it can jump up to 20 thoughts or 30 thoughts.
Yeah. And then you have to, so here's the trick there. You have to write the stupid things out to a file, right? And then you have to have it summarize a context priming document that you can drop in there too. And then, so what I do a lot of times now is compaction is dumb. As soon as compaction happens, you're screwed. So I've turned off auto compact. And when I run out, I just do /clear, and then I just like reprime your context with @ and then the file name with the context data in there, and it will pull in the context. Yeah,
I bet you're the kind of guy that doesn't even type Claude -- continue, Jason. Jeez, like what the hell?
I'm starting to not do it. Like, sometimes I don't want that. Like the history is what screws it, right? Like you don't want the history in many cases. If you have a task for it to do and you've done the work to make the specs for the task, it doesn't need the history.
It's fair. That comes back to scope limiting and distance limiting, right? Ash said she does minutes and we're doing days.
Well, it starts to come back to me with minutes now. And I'm like, I feel like there's a level of like cache recognition.
Little short. Yeah. Little Ash recognition. It's like she needs micro doses here, bro.
Well, the days stuff never made sense to me anyways. And this is one of those things that goes back to we're telling it to think like people and then getting mad at 100%. Its lack of being people parts of its job. And so it's like, why is my instructions telling it to create tests and create validation and performance stuff at all when that's a totally human thing? Before, like, it should be my code monkey and it should know exactly what it's doing, and it should be looking for things that I can't look for. It shouldn't be looking for things that I should be looking for.
And you also need to, like, I mean, along those lines, you need it. The task list has to live outside of it. Like, you need to write it to a file. You need it to remember, like, all of those things.
Writing to plan.md, tasklist.md, those are huge values for content. Yeah.
I spend so much time fighting about our out-of-date documentation. I'm like, why are you creating documentation? Stop. I'll tell you when I want you to create documentation.
Yeah, no, I
definitely will say.
And then we archive it.
Yep. I've had to run through and go, please find all documents that are no longer relevant to a new setup of this infrastructure. Like one time it was converting a database and wrote a script for it. And you're like, I don't think that script to convert a database that's never going to be created again needs to still be in the actual GitHub content. Like,
and it'll run it later.
Like, please, God.
Hey, I found this thing.
Sometimes when it finds something and then it just uses it, Rue does that. And it's actually kind of cute. It'll be like, oh, I found this thing over here. I'm going to try and use it.
It's not cute. It's not cute. I
was just saying, I don't find it cute.
I don't find it cute on it because it goes down a dark place then.
Yeah.
Well, I don't
Anyways.
approve that. I don't approve changes like that before I understand them. So I haven't seen the repercussions, but
Sure.
I can't imagine. I don't know. I
Okay.
forgot what I was going to say.
I feel like we have come to a natural conclusion of this episode.
I think we have.
I think we didn't ever talk about Pigeon Pantaloons, so that's okay. We'll have to reference that back to another episode that we did talk about Pigeon Pantaloons. But yeah, I think I'll see y'all in a couple weeks. I hope to have finished something with Claude to a point that I'm happy with it. I also started on a seller impersonation fraud bot for my SIF talk that I did. I was on there
Don't
with
get arrested, Matt.
Well, it was a Secret Service guy that told me he would arrest me if I released that publicly. So I'm only going to make this one in a private repo.
And maybe we can do
Until
something
some
collaboratively.
GitHub worm
Actually,
makes all your
someday.
repos.
Oh, we
public.
should do something collaboratively, like not just reactively, but how and what? Like, what do we want to do?
It'd be interesting to see how collaborating with humans, working with other AIs, brings more mesh to the web.
Do you want to do that on the same GitHub project and check in and check out stuff and just see how that goes?
Yeah,
that would be fun.
That gets ugly.
This is where Matt learns how to. This is where Matt actually learns how to resolve merge conflicts without force pushing.
Why are there multiple features in this commit, Matt?
Yeah.
Why are there two different scopes?
Hey, Claude, I need you to read all the other fellow coders and code in a way. Anyway, I digress. All right, closing on top of the hour. Steven's got work to do. We love y'all. That was great.